俺の財宝か？欲しけりゃくれてやる。探せ！この世のすべてをそこに置いてきた。
Yo guys, and welcome to this new video. After a few days of absence, I think I will be finally able to dedicate to YouTube again. So to be the first one to know when I upload something new, possibly a new video every day, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Alright, with that said, let's jump straight into the chapter review. The fact that Kawamatsu was imprisoned for 13 years creates a 7-year gap between the moment when Toki sent the other retainers to the future and the moment when he was caught. And this little detail is probably very important for the history of Kotsugi Iori. Indeed, for what we see at the end of the chapter, it looks like Kawamatsu is wearing a kasa, that is the typical bamboo hat of Wano Kuni, and which means that among the 3 retainers Kinemon wanted to find, he is probably the one with the hat who was present the moment Lady Toki sent the other retainers to the future, but that was left behind. Which means he is probably the one who remained behind to protect Kotsugi Iori. And if so, the two of them lived together for the 7 years before the moment Kawamatsu was caught. And in that moment, Iori was probably sold to the Pleasure District, just like it was going to happen to Otama if she didn't meet Luffy. That moment was probably the beginning of her relationship with Kyoshiro, who, as we said multiple times in multiple videos, probably was an ally of the Kotsuki clan because of what the other guests of Orochi's banquet said about his action being something to demonstrate his loyalty to the shogun. We also see how Kawamatsu's approach to the revenge of the Kotsuki clan is completely opposite to Ashura Doji's one, which together with the respect he shows towards Momonosuke implies a true loyalty to the Kotsuki clan that, differently from the man now called Shutemaru, is not limited to the person of Kotsuki Oden. By the way, the fact he was never let out of the cell to work in the quarry because otherwise the jailers would have known about his existence means he's considered too strong to roam in the prison. We also have probably the confirmation he has both arms and legs, in the sense that they were not severed for defying the jailers, which could have been another explanation of him not working in the quarry. In any case, the fact he mentions the importance of the keys for the handcuffs, together with the fact in that prison it looks like only the devil fruit users have handcuffs, probably means he has an ability. And it would be interesting to see if it is again something intelligence related, like Kinemon's, Kanjuro's and Shinobu's, or if it is something that could be used more effectively in a battle. The other interesting part of this prison side of the chapter is of course the Sumo Tournament. And the first thing one can understand, in my opinion, from that is how stupid Queen truly is. I mean, King said he was an idiot back in Onigashima, and this contest is where this characteristic truly shone. Because I can't believe he doesn't know how powerful Luffy is, and if he doesn't, that's the first thing that makes him an idiot. I mean, he removed the only thing that kept Luffy inside that prison. Literally the only thing that managed to keep him under control. It doesn't matter the situation, it doesn't matter the collar, because as long as he can use Aki, probably the collar is useless. Also, we saw how in Sabaody Rayleigh was capable of removing the bomb collar of the slaves bare-handed. So I don't really think that device is something capable to truly threaten Luffy. And thus, as Luffy himself says, what Queen did is practically freeing Luffy from the prison. However, there is one person that in my opinion surpasses even this level of lame in the chapter. Raizo. I mean, he made Luffy wait for so long to steal the keys. When he finally did, not only he chose the worst moment possible, because it was the same moment when Queen arrived, but he also was discovered immediately. And on top of that, he also got the wrong keys. So it's difficult to not have all the respect and consideration for this character as a ninja destroyed by this awful performance. In any case, of course, the key he stole probably will be of incredible importance in the plot. Maybe they are Kawamatsu's ones, and this would explain why they were kept in a safe, or they could even be Kid's one. And this could allow to create a connection between the two supernovas outside the prison, leading to the alliance between the two of them we all expect before the beginning of the last part of Wano, the Fire Festival. Another thing we confirm about Queen is his connection with a mechanical theme, with an engineering theme, you could say. And considering also his funky style and his eccentric personality, the possibilities of him fighting actually Franky in Onigashima continue to rise. And in this sense, we should also remember that the Mugiwara Carpenter already fought a queen in Dressrosa, and that could have been some sort of hint or a way to foreshadow this fight against Kaido's commander. The only thing I appreciated about Queen's idea is how it allowed us to see finally again some more Komurasaki. And this is because after this ability was introduced in that such fascinating way, its importance kinda faded along the way, and in Wano this is actually already the third time Luffy uses it, which means that Oda probably wants to give it much more importance than what we saw up to this point in the New World, and I think this is what this expression of will truly deserves. Moving from one idiotic idea to another, we can shift to the bathhouse part of the chapter, where we could truly appreciate how dumb was the girl's idea of going to a bath while Orochi and Kaido are searching for you. And considering how things developed, probably Oda needed that to move Nami and Robin from the Northern Cemetery to Ebisu Town. The one thing I appreciated in all of this is how he exploded Sanji'S Characterization and the way he used immediately his new ability to achieve his dream, and it's funny how it wasn't even necessary because it was a mixed bath. By the way, talking about characterization, it's interesting to see more sides of Drake's one, as it's always interesting to see how Oda develops different aspects of each character's personality according to the different contests they face. About Hawkins instead, I don't know, each time he appears it looks like he is even more on Kaido's side, but he also still remains that kind of character that if immediately turns out to be on the other side, you won't be surprised to see that. In any case, it's interesting to see how Bebo's group was caught. And even if this could be a logical explanation for the leaks about the moon tattoo, I don't think they are the true source of this information, which at this point could even be Kyoshiro himself, who just like Hawkins is a character very difficult to read. And finally we arrived to the very interesting last part of the chapter. Now, without mentioning the fact that Zoro was capable of losing himself while pursuing someone, we have this character clearly inspired by Benkei, the same person who inspired Whitebeard and the way he died standing. And the very meeting with Zoro and their fight on that bridge contains itself many references to Benkei's life. Indeed, at some point he decided to steal 1000 swords to all the swordsmen he considered unworthy of that weapons, but when he was about to steal the last one, he targeted a samurai who instead defeated him on a bridge. and the adaptation of these events in the One Piece world, creating a situation of the plot where we first have the confirmation of Ryuma's grave being in that northern cemetery, and at the same time we have Zoro, who was doing nothing until this point, finally having his moment to shine, to fight near that very cemetery, which is the base for the operations of Kinemon's alliance in the Flower Capital. And all of this probably means that this Benkei character is related to the Kotsuki clan, and it could even be that he is gathering weapons for their cause. In any case, I really like how the approach to this fight between Zoro and this new figure contains both samurai features, because it is related to stealing a sword, the honor of the previous possessor of the sword, and the honor of Zoro receiving the sword from Ryuma's body in Thriller Bark, and also his very honor as a swordsman, and the pirate part where Zoro says, "I will steal everything that you have gathered, everything that you have stolen for my purposes." I really liked this approach, especially because it comes from a character, a Mugiwara, that, as I said before, didn't do anything apart from losing himself in the entire Wano arc so far. So this could be the beginning of Zoro's true importance in the next events. And until we wait to see how this fight will develop the story, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, don't forget to leave a like and make sure to subscribe. See you next time. Jane!